This piece of work was made to honor the great Barbaro family, one of the most influential families in Venice. This popularity mainly stemmed from the fact that many members of the family held pivotal positions such as church leaders and scientists. Being the rich and influential family they were, they of course had a palace. This palace was called the Palazzo Barbaro. In order to not only decorate the palace, but also to immortalize his family's legacy, artist Giovanni Tiepolo was commissioned to produce a oil-on-canvas painting on the ceiling of one of the rooms of the palace. Produced in 1750, this work of art was known as the Glorification of the Barbaro family. The Metropolitan Museum now has this work of art, however, it is displayed on a wall instead of the ceiling.
The exterior architecture of the Metropolitan Museum of Art has Roman and Baroque influences, and it has statue heads looking over the roof of the building. On the columns, there are Corinthian orders. As we enter the Met, we can see that the interior architecture has a similar style, as it has clear Roman influence in its architecture. It's a very large, open space, with a circular skylight on top of a dome, just like the oculus in the Pantheon. As we look at the painting, we can tell that it's oil on canvas. The paint is blended in order to create a sense of realism, and the style is very naturalistic. The figures farther in the background, which are the angels to the left of the painting, are more painterly than those in the foreground. The colors in the background are lighter and more muted, while the colors closer to the foreground are saturated and darker. This shows atmospheric perspective and creates depth in the painting. There are darker colors on the bottom border of the painting, which creates a contrast to the rest of the painting, which uses lighter colors. On the right side of the painting, there are figures that represent the values that the Barbaro family wants to openly display. These figures are painted with light and saturated colors. The values that they do not want to display openly are painted in darker colors. One of the values represented in the dark part of the painting is prudence. The other figure here is nobility, holding a statue of Minerva, the goddess of strategic warfare. The focal point of the painting is above the figures in the shadows. This focal point is where we see the figure representing valor as well as his lion. This is to represent the power of the Barbaro family, the angel representing the Barbaro family fame. She is holding an olive branch, representing the wisdom of the Barbaro family.
The Creation of Adam was painted in 1508 to 1512 by Michelangelo. It is located on the ceiling of the Sistine Chapel, and it was commissioned by Pope Julius II. This piece is dominated by two important figures, Adam and God. Michelangelo depicts God floating, ensuring a lot of movement in his clothing, hair, green scarf, and in the cloth behind him. We see God himself displayed with more detail compared to the angels behind him. God is portrayed as a simple old man wearing a tunic that exposes his legs and arms. The interaction between God and Adam is a focal point that our eyes immediately go to. As we focus in on Adam, we can see that he is nude and in a lounging position, awaiting the touch of God. This touch that will give birth to Adam and to the rest of humanity. The hues used throughout this piece are very bold and have a dark tone. Battista's glorification of the Barbaro family originally caught our eye at the Metropolitan Museum due to its resemblance to Michelangelo's famous Creation of Adam. Both scenes use dark but bold hues. While both works have two distinct messages, the figures in each seem to mimic each other's body language. On the left side of each work, we have figures nobility and prudence lounging just as Adam in the creation. We take a look on the right side of each work, and we see God and angel of fame stretching their bodies out towards the figures on the other side of the piece. Each work also gives the impression that the setting is in the sky among the angels. The focal point for each work depicts a person of power and large importance, God and valor with his lion.